Well, this is how the plastics look for this bike. At least this is the rear piece. It's had a big chunk missing out of there. It's had bolts put in here to try and bolt a piece on. I've had a go at welding already. This crack through there, that's where they often crack. Another little one back here, and same on the other side here. This was my first attempt, a fairly messy repair on the back, and I tried to do a bit of a patch on the front, and it's only made it worse. I think I can improve on that. This is the same long crack that was on the other side that I've had a go at repairing, and then there's a multiple of cracked pieces here that have been attached by horrible strips of metal on the back and pieces missing again. The front of it, up under the seat and back around here, isn't too bad. There's a hole in the bottom of that pocket because of heat transfer from the exhaust, which also will need to be repaired. And there's a flap that fits over this. There's a little storage compartment that I had to cut off with the angle grinder. The actual mud flaps off the front and rear I also cut with the angle grinder, but that meant that the head bolts got hot and distorted the holes. You can see the chunk that I've got to fabricate to fit in that gap. But I'm having a reasonable go now with the welding process, if you'd call it that. I'll flip this over and show what I've done underneath here. Now, these pieces are original repairs which I've tried to patch in between, and I'll remove those next because my patch should hold the piece on. So how have I done that? These are pieces of fibre glass fly screen that I have used a hot air gun, but the hot air gun has only got a 3mm nozzle. It's a desoldering station gun that is used for heating surface mount components on a circuit board, and the stream of hot air is hot enough to melt the solder. It's adjustable in temperature and adjustable in airflow. So I've been able to just sort of touch the start of this fiberglass and push it with the nozzle and get it to tack into the original plastic. And I'll tack it in a number of spots to get the piece of flywire tacked down. And then I'll slowly work my way around the border with this gun, and then crisscross like this with the gun to get the, it's almost like the plastic comes up through the fiberglass almost like a resin, and it wets all of the fiberglass flywire, and even, I don't know whether you can see up close, it actually tends to spew through in places. You can see little bits here where there's little squares of plastic come through. The crack behind there appears to be gaping open in these photos, but the actual front is not gaping as much, and they actually seem reasonably firm, these patches that I've done. This one at the back here was quite raised and cracked around that hole. I've just put the mesh right over everything at the moment, and I'll cut the mesh out of there. But I'm reasonably pleased how they've gone. Going over this side, this was my first attempt where I was trying to use a filler, some red filler. It was a Heinz tomato sauce 2-litre bottle that I cut strips out of with its high density polyethylene, the plastic in the sauce bottle at least, which I think is the same as what this cover's made out of. But I didn't, in the end I decided it wasn't actually doing much plastering the big blob of, I didn't have the temperatures right either when I did this first one, and I was ready to give up, but I found it was quite stiff the next day, so after it had cooled down. So I've done more over this side, a longer strip there with the flywire, and another strip there with the flywire. You can see the ripple effect down the side where the heat's got into it, and this big long crack across there, and it still needs to be repaired. These pieces of tin were screwed on with self-tappers, which I've touched with the angle grinder, but the problem is the heat from the angle grinder melts the plastic and causes more problems. But I'm thinking I will work between these with flywire before I remove these strips, which will, because it's quite a craze of breaks over that side, and I think I can, there's actually nothing missing along this crack. There's a pieces missing here and a piece at the end there, but the hind spottle may come in handy again in larger chunks, or I may need a bit thicker material for that, but there's various things around in this high density polyethylene. So it's a mess. There's the melted bottom of that little pocket, which I'll address. Look, I've got hours of work pissing around with this little heat gun, but I don't know what the alternative is. I don't think I can buy new plastics for a bike 30 years old. And I see in the States, OEM or third-party people have plastic, but they charge like $200 for a piece like this. So, and then I can't get it to Australia. So that's the rear piece. There's pieces of guard like this that I've unbolted, but damaged holes, and actually that piece otherwise is fairly intact, which ultimately I'll screw back on with stainless steel screws and nylock washers and nylock nuts and stainless steel washers, and I think I'll end up with a fairly complete plastic work. This is the front of the bike. It's got the black cover that goes over the battery. There it's still in one piece. There's cracking and damage down that side. The back of it here, which goes up to the seat, seems complete. So we've got the 250 decal on the side, and you can see the mudguard pieces. There's pieces broken and missing off those as well, but I'll have some fun tacking around with my little hot air gun and working this stuff sort of back into shape. The back piece actually didn't look too bad, just sitting on the back of the bike. It does cover a lot of crap on the frame, and so it is worth putting it back on, although the bike does look pretty cool in a naked form. But so that's what I've been up to.